Okay, Omar. My name is Omar Z. Robles. I am a photographer in New York City, originally from Puerto Rico, and I am 38 years old. And I performed as a mime for over 10 years. Before around 2007, I turned into photography and I started doing photography professionally. My family sort of got in my case about going back to college and studying a real career, and photography was part of my curriculum. So I took a photography class. I found that it's very similar to mime in the sense that mime tries to create a story without the use of words. The reason why I decided to shoot this episode in Puerto Rico is because a lot of people don't know that's part of the United States, and one of the moments that was even more evident is when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. So I thought it was a really good opportunity to bring light into that subject. Over the last 4 years or so, I started developing this series photographing dancers, and that's the style that people have gotten to know me most for. And I guess if you can put my style in a definition, I would say is dance street photography. I don't try to force a narrative. I just allow it to be what the moment is from the street and then the dancer there. My favorite subject, I would say, is the human. It's funny because when I started doing photography, I would shoot people for assignments, but I was very afraid to shoot people on my own. And I met this photographer in Chicago, and one day she said, I don't consider a picture if there's not a person in the frame. She really showed me like the beauty of photographing people in a very candid way. I have a dance background, so I direct the dancers from a dance perspective and not just as a photographer. I'm not only thinking about the light, I'm thinking about their arms, I'm thinking about their extension, I'm thinking about their correctness of what they're doing. I'm literally thinking about the technique, and I correct them. Many of my followers have been able to distinguish my work, even when people unfortunately use my work without credits, for example. So that means that there is definitely something there that sets me apart in a certain way. There was a period in my life, especially when I came back to Puerto Rico from living in Europe, that I was transitioning into a new life. So I had to, at that point, take a traditional job. That was the darkest period of my life, because if I don't create, I die. My everyday camera is the Fujifilm X-T2. For these days, I've been using the GFX 50S. I really love shooting with that camera. It's a very different photographic experience. Lens-wise, I've been using the 110mm f2, so that's roughly equivalent to an 85, which is similar to what I use in the X-T2 when I use the 56 f1.2, which is equivalent to an 85 1.8. There was a moment in New York City where I was photographing a dancer in the street. I saw Mr. Cunningham standing up in the corner. I knew that if I jumped into the street and he saw the dancer, he would start shooting. So I told the dancer, run and get into the pose. He got off his bike and started shooting. I was able to catch him on the frame, and that's a very special picture for me because, you know, he was definitely someone to admire in the photography world. The main message that I want to portray is to try to bring an alternate reality to what we see every day. I always imagine myself jumping and doing things, you know, in the city. Why do we have to walk in a line to work almost as if we're in prison? And in a way, I just want to try to get people out of that mentality. That's my main goal, to provide a breath of fresh air into everyday life and let people dream that they have other alternatives.